Namaste everyone, this is Pooja. So for today's video, we are going to be talking about what kind of expenses you as an internationally educated physiotherapist coming to Canada on student visa can expect in your first year. So let's say you are done with your BPT and now you want to come to Canada and work as a physiotherapist. But you are planning to come here on student visa. So you are here, you take a diploma program and you come to Canada. What expenses you can expect in your first year? We'll talk about it, and we'll also talk about what sort of income sources, what kind of income you can generate as a student in Canada. Okay, because a lot of you have questions regarding I'm spending so much money, is it worth it, is it not, what and all we should do. So for that I have decided, you can see the space here, so for that I have decided that I'll ask Nisha about it. Nisha is my husband. He is a physiotherapist and he is the one who edits most of the videos. So, and he's really good at financing. So be it managing our finances in US or in Canada, Nisha does it for both of us, and that's why I wanted him to share some of his wisdom, because he's someone who writes everything down. He knows his numbers. Okay, so let's welcome Nisha.
Hello guys.
Okay, so this is Nisha. Okay, Nisha, so we were just discussing, is it worth coming to Canada?
For me, yes, it is worth it. You guys should come to Canada if you wanted to explore the new country, if you are ambitious, if you wanted to get more and more money, because there are indefinite opportunities here. The money, the amount you can earn is, I don't think you guys can even imagine. So that is a big dream.
So yeah. See, he is the one who is really positive about everything, and from inside I'm thinking, oh, but COVID has hit, so the market is not so good, the chances for jobs are not so good, what should we do? So this is something like we both have opposite personalities. He's really positive and I'm really someone who gets anxious. If I don't know what is going to happen next, it can be anxiety inducing for me. But yes, what he said is true, but you also need to think about your finances. Like, money is an important factor and you should always keep that in mind. And things can go really well, but always have a backup plan in case things don't go exactly the way you plan. Okay, so that's my 2 cents.
Yes, you always have to have some backup plan, but the other thing is, if you are scared, if you don't do anything, if you don't take first step, you are not gonna reach anywhere. So you need to take first step in your life. This is a big step because you're coming out of your hometown, out of your country, where you are like safe between your own people. Whatever you want, you will just call somebody and you will get it. Here everything is different. But the other thing is, we are like same people like you. We are not coming from any other planet. We are amongst you, and we are doing so good right now. That's what I think, and we are going to do in the future.
Yeah, we think we are doing good, okay? I don't know what everyone else thinks.
Yeah.
By good, we mean we are happy, we are okay with what is happening, and we have hopes that things would go way up. And both of us are from middle class families. Our parents are not crazy rich. Both of us were average or above average students, not super great students, but we were decent students. And yes, if we can do it, the thing is, if we can do it, so can you.
Yep.
Okay, that's the thing. But as Nisha said, you have to take that decision and always think positive, but be strong. Whatever happens for a good reason. So,
and keep that in your mind that you are responsible for your goods and bad. So you can't give the bad thing on other people, and you can't just take credit for just the good things.
Yeah.
There are ups and downs in your journey, but you need to be focused on your goal, and that's what you need.
Yeah, because we have heard few people saying, so and so advised me and that's why I took the wrong course and that's why I'm in trouble right now. that does not make sense. Like if I ask you, go just jump from a cliff, you are not going to do that. You have to think first. So even if I advise you not to do this, let's say I advise you don't do your masters, you have to check it out. Why? If what I'm saying makes sense, okay, but you are the one who's going to take that final decision, and once you take that decision is yours. So you will be responsible. So if you are successful, good, you can just come and say, oh, I took masters but I'm still successful, Pooja. Good for you. But you can't be like, someone told me I should have taken this course. If someone would have advised me the right thing, I would have done this. No, it's your duty to do the research and act accordingly. You are responsible and you're awesome.
Yep. Let's get into the statistics.
Yes, let's check the numbers.
Real data. So the main thing is there are two ways to come to Canada, students and PR. So on PR you spend around $4,000 to $5,000, but we are not going into that way.
Yeah.
We are just focusing on your students, like who are coming from any Asian country, or the PTs who wanted to study here, a diploma course or masters, and who wanted to clear their PC.
Yes.
So let's go there. So your first cost would be your tuition fee. Your tuition fees would be $7,500 for per semester. So for the first year, it would be $15,000. So that would the main thing, or the main cost you should keep in your mind. Yep.
And the second would be, so of course the major expense is your tuition, but the second thing on the list would be renting. You need a place to live. So your rent expenses would be there.
So yeah, the rent would be between $400 to $700, but it really depends where you get the admission. If you are in GT area, it would be little bit higher.
If you are in Hamilton, or if you are in Barrie, or if you are in areas which are not so populated, it would be a little bit less. Again, it could be high if you have the whole room to yourself, opposed to you are sharing it with someone. Or we have seen like 10 students would get together and they'll rent a place, a house for $2,500, and if you divide it between 10 students, then the expense goes down, right? So it depends on how you are renting the space out, but the average expenses could be between $400 to $700.
So let's take $500 for
Yes.
for just an count the numbers. So $500 per month for your rent, it would be around $6,000 for first year. We are just talking about the first year.
Yeah. So that's that, and then you have to eat. So your grocery would be your third major expense. If you have a wife who spends a lot, might be the expenses would go up a little bit. But if you're someone if you are just counting for one person, you can manage it between $100
to $200.
Yeah.
So it would be around $150. Let's take $150. It could go less, and
could go more.
it could go more. Yes. So let's take it's $150. So it would be around $1,800 for the first year.
Okay. And then your fourth major bill, fourth or fifth, I lost the count, but your phone bill would be a monthly expense that you will be doing. So phone bills.
So for the phone, people usually pay between $25 to $85 per month. But if you are not buying a new phone, or if you are not enrolling in that kind of plan that you get the new iPhone and at the same time you have the same network or something, you would be paying around $35. I'm just counting average phone bill, because if I would be the new student for the first year, I would just spend $35 per month. That would be the sensible amount for me. So it would be around $420. Sorry for my voice. So it would be around $420 for the first year.
If you want, you can guess how much ours would be. The minimum is $25. I give you the hint.
Yeah, put it into the comments so we can tell you guys how much we are paying.
The next thing would be your transportation, but for students, transportation is free, so you don't have to add in the cost for that. Considering you are using public transport, if you are having your own private transport, meaning if you have a car, then the expenses would be different, but we are just assuming for first year you stick to public transport.
So if you are using your student card, you will get public transport for free. So that's the good news for you guys.
Next is meals and entertainment. So let's say any extra expenditure that you do per month, put aside $100. Like if you want to go out, eat out in Honest, or these are the Indian restaurant names, so Honest or Udupi, or if you want to have dosa, or if you want to have pizza, stuff like that.
So there are so many great restaurants here in Mississauga or Brampton, near GTA area.
Yeah. So then you can just add in that cost.
So if you are missing your back home, you can at least should go once in a month and try a new.
By at least you also means at the max you should just go once a month, cook at home.
Yeah.
Good for
So we try to put it like this: $100 per month for meals and entertainment. It would be around $1,200. So in that you can skip going outside for the dinner or lunch, and you can buy your winter jackets or boots or something like that. That would be covered in this cost. So keep that in mind, $1,200 for a year, and that would cover your necessary expenses too.
Yes. So that's that. And now the main expense is of your PC. So if you are someone who is in your first year and you think like after the first semester, in the second semester you want to get started with your credential evaluation, let's just add that in as well. This is a good time to start your credential evaluation. So by the time you are done with your 2-year diploma, if you are taking that, you already have at least cleared one exam, or you know something about it.
So I would suggest don't ignore these expenses, because this is the most important thing. You can get good amount of money back while doing these expenses. This is the very good expense to do. So let's check it out. For the credential, you should pay around $1,088. So after that, you should do some courses.
The knowledge of Canadian healthcare practice, that's the name of the course if I'm not exactly right. So you have to do that along with your credential evaluation. So those two things. And
you should pay around $500 for that course. If you are considering doing IELTS Academic, so you should pay $250 for that and $45 for the courier charges.
And prep classes. So if you are thinking of studying with a tuition class or a prep class for your PCE written component, then those classes could be anywhere between $500 to $1,500, right? So take an average of $1,000, add that.
Pooja already made that video.
Yes.
So go and check it out. How many prep classes are available in Canada, and you could choose it wisely.
And if you are smart, you don't need classes. Okay.
Yeah.
If you are smart and disciplined, I have to add that I'm smart but I'm not disciplined. So that's okay. Fine.
For the PC, we didn't prepare with the prep classes. We gave the written component by ourselves and we cleared it. So that's the thing. And one more thing, if you are coming as a student, you already gave the IELTS Academic, and if you have
7 overall,
more than 7 overall, you can use that score for the PCE credential. So you don't need to spend $250 again.
So
and the last expense would be the written exam fees. So it is around $1,000. Altogether for the PC study, it is $3,885.
Okay. So the grand total of your tuition fees plus your monthly expenses plus your PC credential and your written fees comes to...
So for the tuition, it would be $15,000, rent $6,000, grocery $1,800, phone bills $420, transportation no cost, meals and entertainment $1,200, PC study $3,885. So all together $28,305 for the first year.
Okay, so if you take out your diploma, your tuition fees from this, then the total is like your other expenses other than your tuition fees would be $13,305. Okay, so that's your cost. And yeah,
let's assume for the second year. So for the second year, you might think the cost will go down because you already get the PC credential done, or you already paid the fees for that. But I think it would go more, because usually people buy the car on their second year or buy the new iPhone or something, because you already have some money if you are doing some jobs. So if you are that person who buy the car and who do the Uber or skip the diseases and DoorDash to generate more income, just consider your car payment. It would be around, like, if you are taking second-hand car, it would be around $6,000 to $10,000. That's the average cost, and the main expense is your insurance. So it is really depends on the model of the car and which license type you have and where you live. If you are in GT area or in Brampton, it would go super high.
So if you are living in areas where there are more accidents, then your car insurance would be high. Also, if you have license, if you have G license, then the cost is less. And if you have G1 or G2, then the insurance cost increases. G1 and G2 are licenses for someone who is still learning. So G is the ultimate license that you need, and G1 and G2 are the basic levels.
So the insurance cost would be around $400 to $800. But for the first year students, if you don't have G license and you have a little bit old car, you should consider $500 to $600. So let's check $600 per month for car insurance. So it would be around $7,200. So you should add that cost, the biggest cost for your second year, in your expense box.
Okay, so the numbers are, grand total could be anywhere between 28,000 to 30,000 Canadian dollars for your first year as a student doing the diploma in Canada. This could be a huge number and it can be scary. So in the next video, we'll talk about, is it worth it? Should you take loans and should you come here or not? And what could be your income sources? Okay.
So if you guys are worried about your financial situation, or if you wanted to know more about your job sources, put it into the comment. If you have any questions, any number questions regarding your finances, put it into the comment box so we guys can,
We'll discuss it next time.
Yeah, we will discuss it next time and we can make more video about that.
Okay. See you next time. Take care, stay motivated, stay safe. Bye.